The reason we have kids in the streets is because their parents, we have kids begging in the streets is because their parents that have kids that cannot afford. The reason why kids are getting married at 14, running after men, why? Because they had a parent who had a child and could not take care of. Children are dating because they're hungry.
My message to every
it's very easy to have a child.
Every young woman.
Do you know that it's very easy for you to have a child?
Yes, it's very easy.
So I'm consciously making a decision not to now.
That's what makes me
it's
very
not like
sad.
I can't have a child now. I can, but I'm consciously making it's a decision I've thought about.
A woman left to herself will self-destruct. I'm just trying to help her. Simple as that. Hello guys. Hello. How are you? It's been an exhausting week. I'll tell you about it, but it's been an exhausting week. Anyways, today's episode, we want to talk about something a bit different. You guys, you're always talk about relationships. How about you talk about other things? So we're going to try to talk about other things that my generation, the people of my age, are going through or are facing. And as always, should I say as always? Yes, as always, with my usual co-host, the ever controversial, dramatic lawyer, Todo. How are you?
Hi, Shadaya. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
How's been everything?
I can't complain.
You can't complain.
I can't complain. I don't know your side.
I'm okay. I'm surviving.
You're surviving?
I'm surviving.
Yes, because today we're going to be talking about our generation. We are surviving. Yet our parents' generation, they were, I would say they were thriving. We are surviving. They were thriving.
Were they thriving? What do you call thriving?
I mean, if we look at them, this has been, the discourse lately. If you look at the generation of our parents and why we say they were thriving, they were able to get assets and, properties. Yet we are barely able to, to access even the basics.
But is asset, do we say asset is success or is thriving? Just having an asset is it thriving? Because also remember that they were tied down in jobs where they were owing money to, they were getting things on credit at some point, right?
Yes.
And also they were tied down in jobs where they had no mental health. They were working long hours, hard jobs. They're not flexibility. Do we say that's success? Or how do we even define success at this point?
Yeah, that's the thing. We have to be able to come to a fulfilling conclusion as to what is success. Because if you look at it, we are very much under pressure because we are comparing ourselves to our parents. We are saying if they were able to achieve A, B, C, D with, I would say, for a lack of a better word, lesser jobs, jobs which weren't, that fancy, and with lesser education, lesser, almost everything. Yet we are better educated than them. We are working, I would say, better jobs than them, but we are barely able to,
The economy was different back in their time. That's one thing for sure. Things were affordable. Education was affordable back in the day. Houses were affordable back in the day. And also employment, there was there were opportunities, unlike now. Now the market the markets are flooded.
So, how would you define it now? Would you say that in our own way, we are successful?
I think we are. I think in our own way we're successful because, okay, looking at me, right? I am 34 years old. Life expectancy is at 40, right?
Okay.
Is it? I think it's still at 40. Is it 40 now?
For me, I never really,
I'm just saying,
get into that because I don't believe that, that those metrics are about, life expectancy being at a certain age and stuff. It's all about how you take care of yourself.
Yes, it is, but I'm just talking about the majority.
Okay.
Majority is Zimbabwean, right?
So 6 years left. For you.
Say it like that. Okay, 6 years left, right? And I'm thinking, chances are for normal or any regular 34-year-old, chances are they're likely not going to be able to buy a house
Okay.
in 6 years' time, right? So what do I do as a 34-year-old? I find things that fulfill me, because for our parents, their whole purpose was come into town, work hard, buy a house, you've made it.
Okay.
So what does that mean for me? It's not a house, because most of us, our parents already bought a house, so we know we've got a place to stay. So most of our parents were coming from Kumusha and they didn't have a place to stay. So they needed that establishment in the city. We already have parents that bought houses in the city. So if worst comes to worst, I know I can go home. So now, as a 34-year-old leaving, thinking, okay, I have about 6 years before, shit goes sideways.
Okay.
What fulfills me now? So it could be I want to travel around the world.
That would be your definition of success.
That would be my definition of success, and it'll give me a sense of fulfillment to say I've achieved something that actually makes me happy. Again, like I said, for our parents, it was coming from Kumusha and establishing themselves in Harare and buying a house. For them, after they'd done that, they were okay. They didn't think about traveling. They didn't think about any other thing. They felt like, I've bought a house. I've done enough for my kids. I have an inheritance for my kids. I've gotten my kids to school, to university or Form 4. I've done enough. For them, that was the level of, that was success for them. As a parent, if you've done that, it's all good. But for now in our generation, because we're more exposed, we understand. Yes, why are you shocked by
we're
that?
more exposed. Okay.
Yes, we're more exposed to what other worlds are, what happens in other worlds compared to our parents. We're traveling more. So you go to Dubai, you see that people are doing besides being in an office, the other things that you can do that can make you have money, You can travel and make money from traveling. People are doing that.
Okay. So if we were to give you a large sum of money, wouldn't you acquire a property?
How large?
I would say, let's say we give you 100K.
No, I wouldn't.
100K?
Do you know? Okay.
Yes.
The type of property that would fulfill me is not up to 100K. Is more than 100K. The type of property for me to get to a place of fulfillment and level of success that my parents had when they bought, for example, I grew up in Romney Park in Bulawayo. The level of success when they felt like, we've bought a house in a middle density neighborhood. I would not feel that same level of success with a house worth 100K. We're talking in Zimbabwe. We're talking what Madokero. I wouldn't feel like I've succeeded. I'm not. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with Madokero.
Yes.
Before I crucify myself, Madokero is a good neighborhood, but I'm saying houses. But I'm just saying personally,
yes.
I would appreciate the fact that I have a house. I would be grateful.
Yes.
It's an achievement, but I'll still want more. Even if I buy a house in Madokero, I would still say, I want a house in Cheesy or wherever.
Okay.
Do you understand? Like, it won't be a level of, I've made it. I wouldn't have made it.
But even our parents, with the houses they had, it's not like they were had this mentality that I had made it. But
they had.
No, they were like, at least I've, gone a little step further than I expected. It's not like they had said, good, I had made it. Because you'd find, I'm speaking, from my own perspective. These guys were simply saying to themselves, if we came from the rurals and we have acquired a property in the urban areas, be it the ghetto or the middle, yes, I've done something. No, I haven't made it, but I have done something.
Back in the day, that was success. We're talking of parents that were coming from Kumusha, straight from the rural areas, and they were coming to the city, and you go back home and say you've bought a house, whether it's in Chutungwiza or wherever. That was success. That was the level. That was the highest level of success for a lot of our parents. Of course, there are exceptions that then said, I want more.
Okay. So for you, wouldn't you say this generation has been, to sort of say, brainwashed by this mentality of wanting what I would call hyper success?
What do you mean hyper success?
Hyper success, because if I can give you 100K and you say, you'd be able to afford, a house in Madokero, but you wouldn't be fulfilled.
No, I wouldn't be fulfilled.
It means you are what? Part of this hyper success culture. We want things to the extreme.
I don't think it's wanting things to the extreme. It's realizing our potential and knowing that we can have more. It's not just about getting a house. It's about getting a house that makes you happy. It's just, I'll talk about having kids, right?
Okay.
I'll bring in topic, we're not supposed to talk about relationships and having kids, but I'll bring in, just like when I tell people I'm not ready to have kids, I don't have the money. They're like, but you take care of yourself, you can do it. I'm like, no. When I was growing up, I went to a government school. I was in a neighborhood surrounded with kids going to private schools. My parents did enough.
Yes.
I appreciate them for what they did, right? But me being surrounded by kids that go to private school, I realized going to a private school has its benefits later in life, not just at the time. There are opportunities open easier for you. People that went to private schools have it better when they go into the job market compared to someone who went to whatever, St. Nyoka school. Just from the way they speak, just from their confidence. So me growing up in that environment, I realized, no, I want my kids to have that. Yes, I can have a kid and take them to a government school. I can afford to do that, but I don't want that. I want them to have the best because I've realized there is the best. There is better. There is something that I can give my child that can make their life easier.
Okay.
So it's not about doing it extremes. It's just realizing what you can potentially do.
But the word potential now. You are in your 30s. You still can be, applying the word potential. Because, Todo, time is ticking. No, and I'm speaking for,
He's just had to.
No, and I'm speaking on behalf of
Hence
even
I don't have
of
kids.
everyone
Hence
in
I
their
don't-
30s. We should be having kids. At some point,
That we can't afford.
At some point, we have to realize this.
That we can't afford.
The hyper success that we want, we may not be able to attain it.
Which is okay.
So let's settle.
No, that's...
Let's settle. Let's
Do you know what? I
accept the
posted
reality
something
on the
Twitter.
ground.
I posted something on Twitter. I was like, if you're broke, don't date, right? There was whatever. And people like, so do you mean that people that are having kids, that are poor should not have kids? I'm like, yeah, they should not. Because look at the trauma that is coming from, especially our generation, from not having the things that we're supposed to have. Look at the trauma that is created by the way some of our generation grew up because their parents couldn't afford to do certain things. The reason why there's prostitution, kids are prostituting early is because let me say this the right way. Let me see, because
Go ahead.
saying not to blame parents, but there's some parents that just bring children on the earth, and the next thing they're in the streets stealing. Because you can't take care of your kids. Why do you have someone selling airtime and their kids is what you call this? What you call this? Kambera.
Yes.
On the streets of Harare. Why?
Yes.
If you are poor and you can't afford a kid, do not have a child. Simple as that. Simple as that. Who are you giving the burden to take care of your child?
Wouldn't it lead to extinction now? If we get to that point whereby we're saying poor people should not have children. Because
It won't, because instead of having children, they'll put their energy on working.
No, it's something.
And then when they work, then they can have the children that they can afford.
I think the biggest problem we have is that we have commercialized children. We've made kids, these expensive, things. But kids are not really that much expensive.
What do you mean kids are not expensive?
Kids are not that much expensive to a point whereby
Education is expensive now.
Someone on your level can say, I can't afford to have a kid.
I cannot afford
Someone
to have
on
a
my
child.
level can say, I can't afford to have a kid.
Yes, I cannot
It's
afford
because
to
we
have
have
a child.
commercialized children.
What do you mean commercializing children?
Okay, when I say we've commercialized children, when we talk about children, we are talking about, just money. Oh, this
Children is
money that
money.
you have
Children
to spend
need
on
money.
But I can tell you that if you are able to afford what we would call basics, you can still be able to raise a child who would be a responsible adult in society.
Children need money. And when you talk about basic, you're talking about education, right? You're talking about
Yes.
clothes and stuff.
Yes.
And I'm saying I can't afford it. Hence, that's why we have kids begging. You've got to Avondo. Haven't you seen kids come into your car and be like, Ndipomara, why do we have
Are
that?
you
Because
saying-
of kids, of parents that I have. We should not even be having those kids in the streets. Why are we having a 8-year-old begging for money from your car?
But now,
why?
But now, does it make sense for you when you say poor people shouldn't be having children, right? And if we look at the people who are able, who can afford to have children, that would be like 1%, 2%.
It's okay. If poor people stop having
What
children,
happens to everything else?
If poor people stop focusing on being in relationships they can't afford and having children they can't afford and start focusing their energies into working and hustling, then they can eventually get to a point where they have children.
Not everyone is going to be rich.
I'm not saying rich, I'm just saying I said afford.
Yes.
I didn't say rich, I said afford.
Rather, what you should...
The reason we have kids in the streets is because their parents, we have kids begging in the streets is because their parents that have kids that cannot afford. The reason why kids are getting married at 14, running after men, why? Because they had a parent who had a child and could not take care of. Children are dating because they're hungry. We talk about this. Girls are going into relationships because they're hungry. Why?
What you should say is this. If you are poor, right, have a certain number of children, you can take care of. You can be able to say, you can try to take care of. Instead of saying, poor people, they shouldn't have kids.
Don't even get married if you're poor. First make money.
Not everyone is going to make money. That's the harsh reality of, life. Yes, not everyone is going to make money. And if people stop having children, extinction happens. And we are seeing it in the developed societies. They started having this mindset that we have just adopted, like, I can't afford to have kids. I can't afford to have kids. I can't afford to have kids. Now, when you look at their demographic, right, you'd find that, we now have more older people and very few younger people who are supposed now to be absorbed into the labor market.
But
that is why you see, let me finish. That is why you see in Western countries, they are now opening their borders for who? For immigrants to come and try and fulfill, those, vacant positions. Because they don't have the people to fill those, vacancies.
Okay, but you also know that if poor people stop having kids and, the country stops having a lot of people, that will also bring up, initiatives that say if you have a child you can't afford. I think South Africa does that, where if you have a child, you get money. Such initiatives starts coming because they're trying to, I don't know which other country does that, to try to promote to people to have kids. I think that is rather better than people just giving birth to kids that they can't take care of.
People should have kids. Just, small number of kids. Poor people.
Okay, let's say kids. Let me give you this scenario. I'm your sister, Shadaya, right?
Yes.
I'm not employed and I have 2 kids. And then now every day...
No, we were saying you're not supposed to have 2. You're supposed to have 1.
Okay, I have 1 kid. I'm still unemployed.
Yes, you can hustle. I can't
hustle. I'm failing to hustle as a single person. You can hustle for 1 kid. Not me. I'm not talking about me personally. I'm just saying a regular young Zimbabwean woman.
Any normal person can hustle for 1 mouth.
No, a regular. We're always talking about this, that, hey, you're always saying that, hey, women are going for this. Women are even trying to feed. They can't even feed themselves. They have to date somebody to feed themselves. That's the society we're in. And then you want to bring a child on top of that.
They've always done that. They've always done that.
Something they do that without a child involved. Why are we bringing children to suffer on the earth when we can't take care of them?
So, in other words, you're in support of extinction.
I'm not in support of extinction. I'm in support of people working hard before they have kids.
Okay. Now, in the, in today's economic climate, right? If you look at it, the masculine, identity has been weakened. I say this now because back in the day, we used to have in a household supported by what? 1 income. The father, the husband. But now we have these, 2 income households. Yes. What's your view on that?
About the masculinity being weakened?
Yes.
I think men are just failing to shift their identity. What do I mean? I don't know if it's to do with ego. It's them just realizing the times have changed, the economies have changed, and because they've been brought up to be the head, to be this strong, tough man. Okay. You are the breadwinner. And now they just don't know what else to do with themselves because women are now tough as well. Women are now bringing the bread as well. So now they're just like, I don't know what to do.
No.
Instead of saying, I don't know what to do, I feel like they need to find what else they can bring instead of just being a provider. Because what I'm saying is, yes, being the sole provider has been taken away from you because the woman is coming. What else can you give to maintain that masculinity besides the bread in the house?
It's okay. And I now have a question for you. What else would you want from a man besides provision?
Respect.
Because you guys, in as much as you are now in this, in this economy, and you are even out earning men, you'd find that a woman would be with her man, right? She starts a job, and then over a course of time, she gets to a certain level whereby she may now be out earning the man, and then she starts to feel like the man isn't a man enough because she is out earning the man. She now wants a man who earns more than her.
I don't think,
And that is what you women are still doing.
I don't think
You still, even as much as you are earning money, right? These are large sums of money. You still want a man who out earns you. So in other words, you're still saying we want that archaical type whereby the man has to be the provider.
No, not all. I'm going to respond to that in two ways. Okay, let me start with this one. If your woman is out earning you, find something else to bring, because I feel like what pisses women off or what tires women a lot is when men realize that the woman is out earning me or whatever, they then become more lazy. They just take a sit back. Listen, if I'm out earning you, make more money. No, not make more money. Sorry, do other things. No. Sorry, money's in my head. Don't make more money. Like, do other things. Contribute to the house. How? If I'm working more hours than you, then clean as well, cook as well, help my emotional state, be a support system, be something else other than a provider. Like I was saying, men should learn how to shift their identity from just being a provider. Yes, this one is making more money than you. What else can you give me to just kind of be on the same level that is not money? And a lot of men cannot give that. They cannot give support. They cannot be helpers in the house. They just cry, oh, now she is this. Now she is this. We want grace. I'll still go back to that.
Okay.
And then the second part is the other, not all women are like that. Look at, what's that girl's name? The dancer from South Africa?
The dancer. Okay. You were talking
She's
about...
okay.
Yes.
She's okay with it.
If you've brought that up. But if you looked at the comments from the women, they were not supportive. They were saying... it's wrong what she's doing. Yet she was saying, I'm okay with my man, earning less, me earning more, me having to take, on more responsibilities. She was saying, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But if you look at the people who were saying that is wrong, it was mainly you women who were saying that.
Well, I think those women are talking from their own personal experiences. Like, I think I saw a quote, one was saying that when men then begin to make their own money, they leave you. So they're also right in their way because they've also been in that situation and they're talking from their own experiences. But my point was to say that not all women are like that. We've got her as an exception. She's okay with it. We've got Nandi who wants to give men grace. They're okay with that.
Why does it seem that you have a problem with Nandi?
I don't have a problem.
You always have to mention it.
She's just one good
saying
example.
that I'm giving grace to black men. You have a problem with that.
No, I have a problem with that issue, the grace giving to men, but I don't have a problem with her. She's a beautiful woman.
Okay. The women, you were saying they were projecting, saying that if you give a man, this grace, when he gets to a certain point now whereby
he forgets you, he starts looking for a slave queen.
And I explained it.
Okay.
I actually explained it, right? I was saying this. It's not always the case that the moment a man starts earning money, he forgets. No.
They don't forget, they just cheat.
No.
More.
No. Most of the times, we just look at things on the surface level. We never look at things as what was really happening in that relationship. Because for you, most women, just because you were with me when I was, broke, doesn't mean you were actually supporting. You were actually supportive. Because for most of you...
So why were you sticking to someone who's not supportive?
Let me continue. Continue. You'd find that for that period, you would be emotionally abused. Every single time you're being belittled Every single time you're being compared.
So leave.
Every single time you're being told A, B, C, D.
Why do you stay in the relationship?
Where am I
Shaday?
supposed to go? I'm a broke man. Where am I supposed to go then?
To a woman that appreciates you.
It's the same thing with a woman in a physically abusive relationship, right?
They're supposed to leave.
She's supposed to leave, but she doesn't leave. Why? Because she's got nowhere to go. That's the same thing with this man
No, you
in this
can't- no, you can't even-
in this emotionally abusive
even equate
relationship.
that
He
to-
doesn't have anywhere to go. I'm literally living under your roof, the roof that you are paying for, and you want me to leave and go away. I will just have to endure
Where did you come from?
the emotional
Go
abuse.
back to your mother's house.
I will just have to
Go back to your mother's house.
Okay, can you tell that to those women
I do. I always tell
who are being
I always say
physically
that.
abused?
Yeah, if you're physically
Do
abused,
you tell
if
them
you're-
to go
Yes.
to your
If
to your
I was
mother's
to be in
house?
a relationship and a man, I'll go back to my father's house. I would definitely pack my bags and
What
go.
if your father doesn't have a house? Where are you going?
There's no black person without a
No, where
kumusha,
are you
without a
going?
rural home.
Where are you
A
going?
kumusha.
And you have to understand now, we are in this modern age whereby the extended family unit has been broken down. Those family ties,
So
they
I don't
really
think
exist.
we've
So,
got friends, we've
no,
got
I'm
churches,
trying to-
we've got
but I'm
places to
trying to
go. I'm
explain
sure
to you.
anyone with a community
But
has a
it's
place to
something
go.
that is difficult to do. So I'm trying to explain to you why sometimes that when a man ends up, starting to earn, it looks like he just left the woman because of the money. No, it's not always
So he was
the
taking
case.
advantage of the women because of the money.
No,
Yet you didn't want to be there.
No, he wasn't taking advantage.
was, because-
he was enduring abuse because he was desperate. He had nowhere to go. Now he's got the options, and he's now practicing those options. He's saying that, you know what, I can live.
I don't know how I feel about this.
Yeah.
That men are enjoying abuse.
Yes,
they have no
men.
options
There
to
are
go.
many men enduring emotional abuse from women because they've got no option. The same way we've got women who are enduring physical abuse because they've got no option.
Okay, so wait. When did you meet this woman? Because are you married? What's the situation?
Okay, maybe at the point we got together, things were,
Okay.
were okay. And then life happened.
And then
Yes, I lost my source of income. Yes. And then she started showing me her true colors or another side.
Maybe when you
Or-
had your
or I would
income,
say-
you were also doing
or
things
I would
that
say
she
another
was
side,
ignoring.
another side to her.
Oh, but why is that? Maybe it's because of the way you were treating her when things were okay. Because I feel like
Now
in
we
most
get-
cases, just like the UK Zimbabwean men relationship issue, where Zimbabwean men are going to the UK and they're complaining that. But I'm like, how are you treating your wife when you're in
It's
Zimbabwe?
not even about that. It's not that all those guys you see complaining about being badly treated by their women were treating those women some type of way when they were in Zimbabwe.
It's not always the case?
It's not always the case.
But it's sometimes the
It's a
case.
case of women just having power, and the women get drunk with power. That's the thing. You guys get drunk with power. And that is why I'm always telling guys nowadays, right? If you are going to be dating a woman, by any means, try to date a woman who's already in a position whereby she's earning money.
Oh, okay.
She's earning money.
So you're saying
So you
the
already
problem
know-
is power that comes after.
Yes, these women, you'd
okay.
find that the majority of these women, when they were in Zimbabwe, right, they were not earning anything. They were not even working, the majority of them. Then they go there, and then they start earning money. And then they start to realize, I wasn't even in a relationship with this man out of love. It was out of what? Survival. That is why I'm saying, when you date a woman who doesn't have a source of income, you may never truly know if she's genuinely interested in you or if she's just trying to survive.
Soft life.
Yes, but we diverted. We diverted. Yes, we diverted. I would say, to a certain extent, we're just bad with managing the little money we are getting.
I don't think so. I think I'll go back to the point I was saying that we are okay. Let me put it this way. Again, at my age, you were living life not knowing. We're an economy that is unpredictable. Number one. You don't
Okay.
know whether you'll be able to even attain that level of success to buy a house.
Okay.
Like most of us young people don't even know. We're just hustling through. Today you're doing this, tomorrow you're doing this. You're just trying to get there. But at the end of the day, there is no assurance that at some point, like you were talking about our parents and our fathers, at some point they knew kuti after 10 years they're going to get a certain bonus after certain way, and they'll stay in that place in that work employment because they know after 10 years maybe the car you're driving you're going to be given with the
Okay.
white person who they were working for.
Yes.
We don't have that assurance. So because we don't have that assurance that maybe in the next 5 years I'm going to buy a house, you're then like, you know what, I might as well just enjoy. When I make that little money, I might as well just buy an iPhone 17 because it's just going to make me happy. Because I don't know what's going to happen. No, listen, because again, our money is not, it's not, what's the word? It's not guaranteed. We are hustlers,
You're
know.
hustlers.
We're hustlers.
But how about you do something to take yourself out of the hustler mentality?
That's what I'm saying.
Because hustler, I would say the hustler mentality, it's glorified poverty.
What do you mean?
It's glorified poverty. You're just here, you're there, you're there, you're there. How about when you do your so-called hustles, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you strike, a little bit of money. How about you put it into something that would be able to give you returns for the next 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years?
Okay, so
going
if I
forward?
got $1,000
We don't have that
today,
mindset.
No, wait. If I do a side hustle today, right, and I get $1,000, I don't have no
Okay.
guarantee when next I'll get that $1,000. It's just one thing that came and then I did the job. What business can I start that
With
would-
$1,000,
Yes.
okay, I would tell you to go and see one of my Mdara's, Mdara Rabito. Yes.
Who's that?
He's he's one of my mentors. He takes care, he has a farming project. He does rabbit farming. And for $1,000, you can get 2 kgs. 2 kgs, and then he gives you about four rabbits. And then you just have to hustle for the money for the
But
pellets
you also
and
understand
the
not
food.
everyone has got the entrepreneurship spirit, or
But
not everyone is meant to be a business person or an entrepreneur. Not
But-
everyone is capable of doing
But
that.
I was saying, you were saying that, there's nothing you can do with $1,000 in order to earn more money from that $1,000.
No, I'm just saying, well, some could go that route, fair enough.
Okay.
Right? In hopes that from those rabbits, they'll make more money.
Yes.
Okay? But I'm just saying, I don't want to sell rabbits. I want to do something that makes me happy in this
That's the
moment in
thing.
time.
When it comes to money, you don't do the things that you enjoy. You do the things that can get you, where you want to be in life.
So, but
And I will quote the richest man in Africa, Aliko Dangote. He says, when people talk about me and they talk about how I made a fortune from selling cement, I was never, ever, ever passionate about selling cement. No one, in fact, has ever been born being passionate that when I grow up, I want to be able to sell cement. I sell cement because I know that's where money is. I don't even like it.
fair
I
enough.
just love the returns.
But my point, going back to our point, to say sometimes, sometimes it's not even the only 1,000 you have, right? With 1,000 you can't buy a stand, because I've seen people be like, you buy cows, you buy stands instead of buying that iPhone, or instead of buying that car, or whatever the case is. But I'm like, again, there's no guarantee that in as much as I hustle, even if I do the rabbit, whatever the case is, there's no guarantee that from that I'm going to buy a house. I could still do the rabbits and buy an iPhone 17. That gives me fulfillment. I could still do the rabbits and travel instead of buying a stand. That is what gives me the fulfillment, because again, there's no guarantee that in 10 years time, if I buy the stand, I'm still going to build on that stand. So it's just it's just land sitting there that I have to pay for rates for, and I'm not enjoying. Maybe in 10 years time I'm dead. I might as well just enjoy my money.
How about you invest in some form of business? There is always some form of business that you can invest in. We are not trying enough when it comes to try.
I think people are trying enough. I
no,
think
when it
the
comes
reason
to
we're even surviving as Zimbabweans
No, when
is
it comes
because
to
we're trying hard.
investing, we don't have the investment culture in Zimbabwe.
Why do you think we don't have the
We don't
investment
have
culture?
it because
Why?
look at the majority of people our age. Whenever we strike a little bit of money, the first thing that comes to mind is buying something luxurious. It's never about how can I put, this money into something so that maybe, hopefully, maybe it doubles.
Do you know why it's like that? Because a lot of people, when they get to a point of I want to buy something that is luxurious, is they have tried so hard. They've tried A, B, C. They've tried this. They've tried this. They've tried this to a point where they're like, you know what? If I don't enjoy my life, I'm going to be trying for the next 10 years, And with the way the economy is, again, I'll go back to unlike our parents' economy and the way they were employed, there is no guarantee. Things wake up and they're different tomorrow. Today, Trump is doing this, or today this is happening in whatever world. Things change. Our economy is not guaranteed. So I might as well enjoy when I have the money now, because there's no guarantee if I do an investment, I'm going to be 60 years and enjoying my money like Bill Gates.
So we are for the live for now moment generation.
Yeah, I would think so.
We don't give a shit about what awaits us,
We do, but again, it's the whole idea of we've not been given anything consistent. There's not. If you look at from the time you were 20 or 18, look at the economy, look at how the world is changing. Now people are making money out of social media, especially the millennials. We've been through like a cycle of go to school, maths, law will get you the job, right? Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, this whole computer generation comes in, and now it's like social media is doing it. So you're in a place where tomorrow you don't know what AI is going to be doing. Maybe,
but I would tell you this. School is still very much important.
I don't think so.
It's still very much important.
I don't think so.
And it's one of those things that you need to have.
I don't think so. People are making money without school. Look at KBLM. Like
everyone when we talk about social media, earning money from social media.
No, look at Actual Speed. Okay, let me not talk about
yes, let me
look
talk
at
about
Mr.
that.
Beast.
Yes, let me talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
We tend to look at these extreme outliers. Mm-hmm. For every Actual Speed.
Look at Nadia.
For
Queen
every,
TV.
let me talk.
Okay, well, we said extreme.
Yes,
look at Queen Nadia.
Yes, for every Actual Speed, there are about 100,000 failed Actual Speeds.
True. Just like lawyers, just like accountants, just like doctors, just like people in education. Not every doctor is going to be rich. Not every lawyer is going to be rich.
I was saying, have something that you can, base on. Be educated. If education is not the thing for you, then learn a trade. Mm-hmm. You can still earn a living from a trade. It seems like trades have been abandoned, yet they are still very much useful.
I don't think they've been abandoned. I feel like people are actually going more into trade than...
They are still very much useful.
I feel like
everyone thinks that they are going to be this social media star.
No. People are working. People are hustling. There are a lot of businesses. I just use social media as an example to say...
It's a bad example. Because when people say that people are earning money, the people who are actually earning money, let's talk about like here in Zimbabwe. Mm-hmm. How many people would you say are actually, earning big on social media?
I was about to say some name, but I was going to take us
but yeah, I know. But you know, you'd come to this conclusion that, they are very teeny, tiny, number.
No, but also
money.
if we're talking about Zimbabwe, let's look at it. Zimbabwe already, because of whatever is happening in Zimbabwe, the sanctions stuff. There's a lot of things limiting Zimbabweans in terms of content creation.
What sanctions?
You can't get paid on TikTok.
Anyways,
we can't get paid on a lot of platforms because of what? Why is Zimbabwe not included?
Almost majority of African countries are actually not included. On these monetization things. Mm-hmm. So it's not a sanction thing. Because you'd find, let's talk YouTube. Mm-hmm. Zimbabwe is actually one of the few countries whereby you can earn on YouTube. Many countries
were not included. A lot of Facebook were not included. And why? And Facebook is one of the apps that is paying a lot.
I actually talked about that with Chief Ben when I was with Chief Ben. That is not a matter of, you say these sanctions you are talking about. Mm-hmm. It's a matter of the authorities. Those who are responsible for, I would say, in the Ministry of ICT, they are supposed to lobby to Facebook, to Meta, to say, you guys, you're making a lot of money from us, from Zimbabweans, who advertise on what? On Facebook. No, I'm actually telling you, if they were to lobby that, you guys are making certain amount of money from what? From Facebook in Zimbabwe, right? yet you are not paying back to the creators who make sure that people flood to your
even
platform.
going to sit with somebody from Zimbabwe?
Yes, they are very
Because of
much
the
willing to listen, because you'd find that they are making a lot of money.
No, I understand that,
Yes.
but also I'm saying...
And they are not
reason,
willing. They are not willing to lose that money.
Despite the sanctions?
There are no sanctions when it comes to Facebook. It's like I'm telling you, those who are in authority, they are supposed to lobby it with Facebook, with Meta.
No, but the sanctions come in hand
considered.
because they have to include banks. They have to include takes. They have to include
But
the government of Zimbabwe. If we're to be paid, where does the money come into? Just like YouTube pays into my bank account, right? So there's a lot of parties involved.
If YouTube can pay you, what can stop Facebook from paying you? Yes, what can stop it? You need to lobby for that.
So next, okay.
Yes, okay. You need to lobby for that.
I'm trying. Okay, I'm limited with this conversation, but it's fine.
What's limiting you?
No.
Okay,
let's move on.
You don't want to go into a certain territory.
Yeah.
Okay, I get you. So, with what we've discussed, wouldn't you say we have to redefine now what is success for our generation?
No, it's already...
Because that's the conclusion I'm coming to, that you're saying we should redefine it.
It is. Like I was saying, success for our generation is very different. Again, like I was saying, we're more exposed. We understand what mental health is. We understand how to... Look, our parents were staying in jobs where they were not happy in, but they were just staying in jobs. Because that's what pays the bills.
A job is never supposed to make you happy, though.
No, it's supposed to. There's mental health. What if it destroys my mental health?
So
we are aware of what is okay for our bodies. We're aware of what is okay for our minds. We are okay to say, this works for us, this doesn't, and I'm okay with it. I don't live in the pressure of, I'm not living my life because some granny is saying they want grandkids. No, I'm living my life because I want to be happy. So if I feel like I don't have to have kids now, I'm not going to have kids now.
Okay.
If I feel like this job is not doing it for me, I'm not going to have that job. And also, I'm not pressured into having a job that I don't like because I'm supposed to have kids.
Okay.
That was our parents' success in life. This is different from us.
So for us, we are choosing individualism over, the collective.
We're choosing ourselves.
We are selfish.
No.
Yes, we are selfish. We are choosing ourselves.
No, it's not
we are
being
not choosing
selfish.
the collective. What's good for
What's
society?
Good for who? What's good for
us as a collective?
How is destroying my mental health good for society? How is it benefiting you that I am depressed? I have all this trauma following me because...
Since you've chosen yourself, Todo, are you not depressed?
No, I'm not. I'm very much happy. I'm at peace.
You are very much happy.
I'm very much happy.
It's okay. It's okay. If you say you are happy, I want to argue with it.
I can't speak for other people, but there's a reason why I don't even want to have kids now, because I feel like if I do have kids now, with the way my financial situation is, I would be depressed. So I'm not going to put pressure on myself.
So if the economy doesn't change...
No, I'm not saying I'm waiting for the economy. I'm looking for ways to make more money. I am making money, but it just hasn't gotten to a point where I'm satisfied to say, now I can have a child. I want to be able to say...
And if it doesn't happen?
It's okay, I'm okay.
You're not going to have kids?
Yeah. Is it a crime to not have kids?
No, I'm not saying it's a crime.
I'm not going to have kids. I'm not going to bring a child into this world to make them suffer. To say, no negotiate and a teacher with enough fees. That's trauma. That's trauma that we millennials are living with today. You wonder why we behave the way we're behaving. Because we had to go negotiate with the best at the best's office. For what reason? Being chased away from class because you don't have fees. That is trauma.
I'm at a loss for words. So if nothing changes...
I'm not going to have a child. And I'm okay. I'm at peace with it. I'm a niece.
But it's actually sad.
To who? I'm not sad about it.
No, it's sad.
To who?
Even to you.
No, it's
you
not.
won't realize it now.
No, it's
and
not.
And do you know why?
See, there is a problem. You want people to live according to your own standard of what is supposed to happen. This is my life.
No, this
my life, my body, my choice, my life.
This is biology. This is biology.
So?
At a certain point...
If I get to 40 and I can't have kids, it's okay. I'm at peace with it because
you won't be at peace.
I will be at peace with it. I'm very much making it. I will not feel it, Shaday. I will be fine.
But anyways, my message to every
You know, it's
young,
very easy to have a child.
every young woman.
Do you know
who's
that it's
listening to
very
this,
easy for you to have a child?
Yes, it's very easy.
So I'm
And
consciously making a decision
that's
not
what
to
makes
now.
Me, that's what makes me
It's
very
not like I
sad.
can't have a child now. I can, but I'm consciously making it's a decision I've thought about. And it's not like I've not had pregnancy scares. I'm 34-year-old.
Yes.
It's not like I'm just waking up. I'm like, no. It's a decision I've constantly thought about, and I've made a decision for years to say, look, I don't want my child to be the one to be sent away from class to say, Kunzi, you don't have fees, go home. Because I've been there. It's traumatic. I don't want to bring a child and experience that. It's a decision I'm choosing for my child. I'm actually not selfish. I'm thinking of my child, in fact. I'm thinking of the child that I'm going to bring to this is to say, my child, before you come, I want you to come and live comfortable and not be traumatized by the things that traumatized me as a child.
I think these are the things we tell ourselves in order to feel good about this decision.
Society wants us to believe that you want people to believe that they're telling themselves.
We are telling ourselves this.
Listen, Shaday.
Let me
We are not.
finish.
No, let me explain. No, let me explain because you want to twist this one. I am not telling myself that. I'm the one in the situation. You are not a woman. You are not Todo. I am telling you what I'm feeling. So you can't tell me what I feel. You can't tell me what I think. You see, this is what men do. They want to tell us women for years. And you're asking for grace. I'll keep grace. You see, you can't tell me this, you will feel like this. This is not how you feel. You are said, I am here, a mature woman who is very intelligent. I'm telling you exactly what is going on in my head. You have no right or capacity to tell me that is not what I'm thinking. Thank you.
A woman left to herself will self-destruct. I'm just trying to
know.
help her. Simple as that. So anyways, guys, I would want to hear your comments on this when it comes to success. Can we say we are failures, or we can say we have redefined success for our own generation? I don't know what's your take on that. I would want to hear from you. And I think we call it what? We call it a rap. Yes. Someone was emotional. We call it a rap.
It's one of those days.
Yes, it's one of those days. And remember, as always, I always tell you this. Go to our YouTube page, BETS263.